5 o'clock on Wednesday, and it's time for...
Okay, go Ryland Magic Review Show.
He's Ryland.
He's Craig.
And welcome back to another review show right here on...
Magic TV.
And we've got 3 great tricks, 3 awesome tricks, and 1 absolute stinker. 1 absolute stinker, 1 absolute terrible trick. You can guess where the terrible trick is. We're going to start off with the terrible trick. Say it with me, N2G. Okay, so first up we have N2G. They're not happy with just taking over the coin magic market. Now they're venturing into card magic. That's right, N2G are taking on card magic, and they are doing so with the Wormhole Deck. Now, N2G, I've got a love-hate relationship with them. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad. Even when they're good, and they have brought out some great stuff, they're still bad because their tutorials are terrible. Their instructions on their tutorials are terrible. There's no live performances, and they don't really care enough to even have a studio. So even when they're good, and some of the coin sets they've brought out are really good, but recently they've been half-arsing it a little, but we're quite excited about getting the Wormhole Deck, weren't we? Mm-hmm. It comes, you know, in its little plastic box, all good so far. You open it up, you see the tutorial link, you go on there. It's a 13-minute tutorial. You watch the tutorial if you remember. Yeah. 13-minute tutorial. It takes Rylands.
That's probably like the longest they've ever done.
I think it is quite a long tutorial for M2G. So you put more focus into the tutorial than me. I
don't even know if they're in a hotel room this time. It's just like this time. It's not looking at the face. It's just.
They're just looking at a mat. They're just looking at a mat. Live performances?
No.
Of course not. Of course, there's no live performances. Why would M2G bother with a live performance? But don't worry about it, because Ryland's got a performance for you.
Yeah.
This is a video that Ryland put on Instagram a little while ago of the Wormhole Deck. Let's have a look at it. So there you go. I mean, in essence, what the Wormhole Deck is it allows you to make something appear visually on top of a deck of cards. So in that case, Ryland made a dollar bill appear on top of a deck of cards. But they do talk about lots of different things that you can make appear, don't they?
Yeah. Like as much as a sponge love heart was. A
sponge love heart. They talked about having a
dollar bill,
folded up card. Yeah. Anything really that will fit on a deck. Now, you've got some issues with this. Before you go through the issues, let me just explain what it is. In terms of, I mean, to be honest, I think most people know what's going on here.
To prove what I'm going to say, I'm just going to grab a deck of cards.
You're going to go and get a deck of cards?
Yeah.
Okay,
to prove my point.
Okay, to prove your point. Right. He's going to go and grab a deck of cards. While he's doing that, basically what you have here is you have a gimmick deck. It's not a real deck of cards, so you're not going to be able to use this for anything else other than the production of the item that you want to produce. Once the item has been produced, the item maybe can be examined depending on how you set it up. The way Ryland did the dollar bill thing, it couldn't be examined. But depending on the item, you might be able to examine it. But the deck cannot be examined at all in any way, shape or form. You also can't cut the deck, you can't shuffle the deck, you can't show it's a real deck. It's not like you can spread it and give the illusion of it being a real deck. That's not the case. Now, you could, if you wanted to, switch a real deck for the Wormhole Deck. How much information do they give you on deck switches in the 13-minute tutorial, Ryland?
Absolutely nothing.
Absolutely nothing. Do they even mention deck switches, Ryland? No. So in other words, what you've got here is you've got a rather expensive deck of cards that will literally do one thing, which is make an item appear. It's not like you can make lots of items appear. It's not like you can vanish it afterwards. Nothing can be examined. It is a production of an item on a deck of cards. What were you going to say? Because I know
the thing is,
he had his angry face on all the way through watching the tutorial.
Yeah, the thing is, you can just do that without the gimmick. Like the whole point of the trick is to do one thing. And when you can do that thing without the gimmick, it solves a problem that doesn't exist. Like,
okay,
it's no point.
So what?
Like if you took a deck and you can examine that, make sure it's a completely normal deck.
This is a normal. Did you open a new deck for this?
No, it was just.
Yeah, normal deck. Yes.
Like I want you to watch there. Watch right there. I'm just gonna.
You're gonna make Lego appear.
Yeah.
I do get your point. Yes, it would be very easy.
I don't have any like dollar bills on it, but
Yeah.
you could do it with a dollar bill.
Because you got a very good point there. Because the thing is, let's just say that this card here was a folded up card, and we were making a folded up card appear. So let's just say there was this, and we were making a folded up card appear. Come back here, right?
Look, I found this.
Cool. So let's just say you were making a folded up card appear, right, for on a deck of cards. They have numerous ways of making it appear. Like you did the shake way, but there was like a one-handed fan method and stuff, wasn't there? And there was a bunch of other stuff. Basically, you're covering the gimmick. The gimmick is quite loud when it goes. In the real world, if it was quiet, you'd hear it. In a normal performing condition, you wouldn't. But also, you have to have a very big motion in order to cover what happens.
Yeah, in the tutorial, he messed it up as well, which was...
Like a couple of times, didn't they? And they didn't bother redoing it. Of course they didn't. Why would they? It's M2J.
Because it was like showing like how to cover the stand, I think, and like just drop it so it sounds like it's going into your hand. But when you drop it, he went to drop it, but like the cards fell and the gimmick was left, and you're like...
But I mean,
he's like, hang on.
You put your hand over and you made it appear, which is absolutely fine. Like if you were doing a folded up card and you had the real deck of cards and you did that, that would be a fine way to do it. Oh, there we go.
Yeah,
or the other way you could do it is you could have it just here in finger palm. Let me think how you do this. You'd have it here like this in finger palm. You'd load it underneath the deck as you're talking, and then you kind of maybe do that. Or if you were doing their little one-handed fan technique, you could basically do the same thing. You know, you could do that and make it appear.
Yeah, and then you could do the thing that you did with the tic-tac the other day. So it's like, you can see the deck and then what's right there.
Oh yeah, that thing. Yeah. Kind of.
Shoot up.
Well, that's a Jay Sankey move. That's a Jay Sankey move. Yeah.
Again,
You're talking about this, so you can go whoop, and make it pop out of the thing.
Yeah.
So watch, there's a
That's even
secret
better.
button there. You do that, and it pops out.
Yeah.
Look,
But
press
that's
the
even
button.
better than the gimmick.
Pops out like that. Yeah. But
The gimmick don't.
the other thing is, why in the ever-loving blue hell are we even using a deck of cards to begin with to make a dollar bill appear? Why are we using a deck of cards? Let's say this is a dollar bill. If you want to make a dollar bill appear, how about just having it in finger palm and going, look,
Dollar bill.
magic. Now your hands are empty and you can just make it appear. So what we have here is
Well,
we're
you could do
spending...
the thing that I like to do with the put pocket in.
Yes, putting it in my pocket when you're not looking, yeah. No,
I'm
but
good at that.
But the point that we're trying to make here is this is 40 quid on a trick
40 quid is too expensive.
that's not,
Good.
it's got no purpose to it. It's just a gimmicked deck that you can't use for anything else, with no information on how to switch it in, no information on how to switch it out. It does what it's intended to do, okay, but it's I've used this before, you know what I mean. It's the equivalent of killing a fly with a submachine gun.
With a submachine gun.
It's just like, there's no point. There's a million ways of doing this. I saw you do it. Stop.
Aww.
There's a million ways of doing this a lot better. Which is why, once again, it's absolutely pants. It's terrible. It's awful. It's a dreadful trick. At this point, I think NTG need to dial it back a bit and maybe bring out less tricks and up the quality. Maybe start by investing in a office. Take some of the money that you throw into coins and crappy card gimmicks, and maybe have a production, have a little studio or something, so you don't have to hire like some sort of penthouse every single time. This is getting 0% from me. What about you?
This is gonna get 0% for me.
0% from you as well. 0% from me, 0% from Ryland. It's absolutely pants. Let's move on. Okay, so next up we have Free Will. What's it called? Is it Free Will? Hang on, let me just find out. Let me look at my notes. Free Will Deluxe by Deddy Labrisa. I think that's it. I don't know. The original creator from Free Will, I believe. This has been re-bought out by Penguin Magic and taught by Nick Lacapo. Everybody who knows me knows that I'm very high on Nick. I think he's one of the best teachers of magic in the world. And Nick spends an hour teaching you everything that you need to know about the free will principle. In fact, Nick goes above and beyond. The instruction on this project is absolutely phenomenal. The production quality and the way it's actually taught is brilliant. So they have, they're teaching free will, and you'll see a performance of it in a minute. I'm sure a lot of you already know about the free will principle, but if you don't, it's one of the best mentalism, sort of principles that you can ever learn. And the way that they teach it is they go through various different ways that the performance can go. And they show you almost like a little diagram of what you're meant to do if that happens. You see a live performance of that happening to Nick in a real life environment, and you see what he says. Absolutely brilliant. The tutorial is amazing. Now, if you don't know what free will is, you've never seen free will before. So this was new to Ryland, and you love it, don't you?
Yeah, it's really cool.
You did a performance of this. So we'll have a look at the performance, and then I want to get your thoughts on it as somebody who's new to free will.
Yeah.
Okay, let's have a look at the performance of
Sister
this.
here, and I'm going to try take her free will. Okay, so here I have prediction. Yeah. I'm going to put that there, as well as this. I also have these 3 coins. I'm going to look away and I want you to mix them up as much as you want, okay?
Yeah. Let's go like there. Yeah.
Okay, you sure?
Yep.
Okay. Right, are you happy? Yeah. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to pick up any one of them. Any one.
Let's go for this one.
That one, are you sure? Put it inside the bag then.
Ooh.
Okay? Like that. And then pick up another one.
That one.
Now, do you want me to hold that or you to hold that?
Me.
Okay, so I'll hold this one then, okay? Now, would you like to swap?
Yes.
Yeah, you sure?
Actually, yes.
Okay. Okay, so give me that. Now, would you like to swap one more time?
No.
Okay, you sure?
Yes.
Now, like I said, I had this prediction the whole time, and I'm going to read it out to everyone. Right. I am holding the star. You are holding the square. And in the bag is the triangle.
What?
Okay, so that's free will, and it's fair to say it's that fair every single time.
This.
Like every single time, it's that fair. It's killer. It's absolutely killer. Thea was blown away when you did this. Like she was blown. Her little mind was blown. And look, let me just talk about a couple of things, and then I want to know your thoughts. First of all, the props are really well made, aren't they? The little, you call them coins in the performance, but they're more like tokens. They're like little sort of chip type things. They're made out of metal. They look absolutely fantastic. They are, it's fair to say that they're marked. I bring that up because sometimes when things are marked, people want to know how easy or difficult it is to see the marks. What's your opinion on that?
I said they're pretty easy once you know them.
Once you know the marks, they're pretty easy to see. You get the little bag, you get the prediction, but then on the project, Nick goes through so many other ways that you can do this. He goes through ways of doing this that don't even require looking at the marks. So if you don't want to use the marks on the chips, you don't have to. He goes through how to do this with other objects, like how to do this with playing cards and a bunch of different stuff, but basically different applications of the free will principle. And it is loaded down with live performances. Yeah. This, you know what? I'm sorry. I'm sorry to harken on about this, but the guys at N2G really need to take a trip over to Penguin Magic. They need to go over to Columbus and they need to sit down and have a masterclass with Nick Lacapo and the Penguin team on how to actually produce a tutorial that's not pants. Like, really, they should. It starts with live performances. It then goes into thorough teaching, explaining everything. Whatever, I'm still peed off about my stupid 40 quid that I spent on a naff deck. Whatever, this is not about that. So, what do you think? You've never done free will before.
I think free will is really cool. I've never seen it before, but this looks amazing.
And it's all, everything is
Tokens
self-contained.
The tokens look crazy good.
They're great, aren't they? Really awesome. Like, you said to me that this was going to be an everyday carry for you, because everything fits inside the little bag. And you can literally just put it in your
I'll probably
pocket.
put it in my poker chip case thingy, and then I'll carry that around and I'll just walk about.
You just walk about. Is that you walking about? Mm-hmm. He doesn't do much close up, but he does a lot of everyday carry stuff. So, you would do this.
Yeah.
Okay, you'd do this. It's great. Look, there's going
I
to
don't
be.
even know what I thought about that. My face just went into freeze. Like, yeah, definitely.
There's people out there that have probably not seen the free will principle, like you hadn't, but there's a lot of people that have. I will tell you, this is the best teaching on the free will principle you will ever see. I have never seen a tutorial like this before. The props are amazing. There's lots of different options. Nick is absolutely on fire on this tutorial. I love it. I love it. I love it. I've been doing free will for years. Am I going to do it? Yes. Because I've been using it for years. I'll be honest, I tend to do free will with the Infinity deck. So I actually use the cards from the Infinity deck to do free will. But you can, the tokens look really cool. They look really nice. I love this. I'm going to give this 100% purely because it's one of the best principles in mentalism. If you don't know this, you should learn it. This is the best place to learn it. And the props that you get with this are amazing as well. I can't imagine anybody not knowing about this principle and not falling in love with it. 100% from me. What about you?
100% from me.
100% from Rylands as well.
It's really cool.
It's great.
I'm definitely going to take this round.
Definitely going to take it round. It's on Ryland's Everyday Carry. Let's move on to trick number 3. Okay, so next up we have your friends, the French twins. I remember a couple of years ago at the Session Magic Convention, you just sitting down there for like 2 hours having a card session with the French twins. They're the closest you've ever had to starting to like card tricks. You came away wanting to do card tricks. It lasted a day, admittedly, but, for a while, you were going to be a card expert. French twins are great. They're awesome. They're brilliant. I love the French twins. They bring out so much really good stuff. This is sick. This is really great. Basically, it's it's basically a reveal for a forced item. Let's be honest. That's what it is. You have to force an item. The tutorial isn't very long. There's live performances, but the tutorial's only about 10 minutes long or something like that. It only needs to be 10 minutes because there's very little to go through. You force an item and then this is a revelation of that forced item. I don't want to say anything. We're going to show you a couple of performances of Ryland doing this. He did 2 videos for this for Instagram. The force that Ryland used on both of these was kind of like pre-show, like he forced it on me beforehand.
We couldn't create like a deck of cards that fast.
Yeah, but we'll talk more about that in a second. But let's have a look at these 2 performances.
But I think you would get Panda.
You would, definitely. I think you would. We'll talk about that in a minute. Let's have a look at the 2 performances, and then we'll talk about what.
Okay, so I've got my dad behind the camera, and Dad, if you went into a zoo and you had to pick the cutest animal there, what would you pick?
Definitely a panda.
A panda. Okay. Well, would it be cool if this QR code led to a website about pandas?
That would be amazing.
That would be amazing, but that wouldn't be magic. This is magic.
What are you doing? No way!
And you can see that we have a panda. What? Now, Dad, if you could have the powers of any superhero, which superhero would it be?
It would have to be a Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. Well, if this QR code took you to a movie about Spider-Man, would that be good?
That'd be amazing.
Well, that's not magic. This is magic.
What?
And you can see that now we have Spider-Man. What?
Okay, so that was a revelation of a panda and that was a revelation of Spider-Man. We'll go into what our thoughts with the forcing in a minute. Because the French twins are just like, hey, here's a couple of forces, but you really just want to force it however you want to. It's completely up to you. This is how you reveal the information. It's kind of how they go with that. But what you get in there is you get a whole bunch of these QR codes, and it's based on friction technology. So you get 2, and they all look like barcodes, but when you wave the lighter in front of them, they're going to turn into an image. Yeah. You get 2 Marilyn Monroe, so you get 2 female celebrities.
You get 2 Spider-Man.
You get 2 Spider-Man. You get 2 Will Smith.
Will Smith, yeah.
You get 2 Eiffel Tower.
And 2 pandas.
2 pandas and 2 Three of Hearts. So you get like a whole bunch of different QR codes, so you can take them around all night. And the QR codes are marked, aren't they, in a very clever way. Yeah. So when you're looking at the QR code, you know instantly what the revelation is built into that QR code.
To be honest, you could just tilt it. I figured out, if you just tilt it sideways, you can tell where
But it does have the initials down there anyway, if you can't. Now, the other thing that's worth knowing, or worth talking about, is you're probably thinking, well, you know, I've only got a few of these and now I'm not going to be able to do it again. Because this is based on friction technology, if you take the QR codes that you've used at the end of the night and stick them in the freezer when you get home for a couple of hours, when you take them out of the freezer, they're going to be as good as new. Yeah. They're going to be great and you're going to be able to do it again. So you've got like, I think 12 different revelations. You can do this all night.
I think 6 different but doubles.
Six different revelations, 12 altogether. So you can do this all night, whack them in the fridge when you get home, and then you're ready to do them again. I've loved Friction Pen for years. This is obviously based on friction technology. And it looks incredible. It really looks good. I've never seen anybody like do something like this before, where you're getting something printed in friction. I love it. I love it because you kind of lead them up the garden path. Hey, if you scan this QR code and it took you to this, would that be impressive? And they say yes, but then it becomes even more impressive because the image actually appears in the QR code. Very, 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 very good. The only other thing that I'd say that's worth noting is we talked about the forcing. When Ryland did the Panda thing, the way that we're going to be approaching this because we're both going to do this, the way that we're going to approach this from a forcing point of view is use that presentation. So if you were going to go in the zoo and you wanted to pick out the cutest animal there, what would it be? We kind of went through it and we thought that most people would go for a panda. Now, if they don't, you go. Let's say they go for they're weird and they go for a camel. You go, okay.
Like a chipmunk.
Yeah. Okay, that's interesting. Well, I've got a list on my phone of all the different animals in a zoo, and you do digital force bag, or I've got a deck of cards with all of the different animals in them.
Or just say, oh, so that's your favourite. Well, do you like pandas?
Yeah. Well, you could be blatant like that.
Yeah.
Oh, your favourite's a chipmunk. Well, I like pandas. Let me show you something cool. I think it's better if you do force them, but at a pinch you could do that. But I think you'll get a big hit rate of people just saying panda. Likewise, if you have someone name a superhero, most people name Spider-Man these days. Nobody names a DC character, because DC sucks. Everybody names Marvel, and when you're thinking of Marvel, really...
All the kids will probably go like Spider-Man or Iron Man.
Yeah, Spider-Man. Although Iron Man's not around. Iron Man died like 5 years ago. Like he's not around. He's still famous.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, but
Tony
Stark. Anyway, with that being said, I love this. I think this is really cool. I love this as a revelation. Also, if you're into everyday carry,
1,000,000%.
if you like everyday carry, stick a couple of these in your wallet and you're good to go. You can literally, if you've got your phone with you and you set up a digital force bag thing, you can literally just take out your phone, take this out your wallet. You can do it as a little prediction on the table, borrow a lighter if you haven't got one, and you're good to go. This is a great EDC. It's a fantastic trick. It's a great revelation. It looks super visual. You're giving it 1,000,000%. Mm-hmm. 1,000,000% from Ryland.
Very cool.
I'm giving it 100%. I think this is so commercial. I wish I'd thought of this. Yeah, it's brilliant. If you're watching French Twins.
What did you come up with this, Deddy? So stupid.
Merci. So the final trick we're going to be looking at is Dr. Michael Rubinstein. Mm-hmm. And he's one of my favourite magicians of all time.
It's conviction
prediction.
Prediction.
He's, you know, Miss Doctor.
Why is it doctor?
Because he is a doctor. He's a medical doctor. He's a veterinarian. He is a vet and he's a very good vet.
Very good.
And although I think he's retired now, but as well as being a vet, he's also probably the greatest coin magician alive today, as far as I'm concerned. He's literally written the book and then some on coin magic, and a big inspiration in my career. And now, oh man, I am nothing compared to Michael Rubinstein. Nothing, absolutely nothing.
They got less than you.
Michael Rubinstein is like the fanciest restaurant in the world. I'm McDonald's. Like that's where we are with this.
And then N2G people to give you food poisoning.
To give you food poisoning. Don't start me on N2G. Right, this is how coin magic's done well. This is how it's taught well.
He's like a 5-star restaurant. You're like.
Can we get on with it? This analogy has run away with us.
No, you're like. Name a good restaurant that's not fast food.
I don't know.
No, not KFC. Slim Chickens.
I'm Slim Chickens.
And they're the crappy places that give you food poisoning.
Right, okay, so now we've worked that out. Let's continue. So, Michael Rubinstein has... Really yes, but he's released this. It's a mentalism trick using coins and poker chips. And
Which
it is
why
brilliant.
I would do it.
Yeah.
will do.
The second Ryland saw this, he was like, I'm doing this. I'm definitely doing this. And we had to fight as to who was going to perform this on camera because he wanted to, but I was like, look, I hardly ever do anything these days. Let me. So you're going to see a video of me performing this trick. I love this trick. I love it so much.
Me too.
Let's have a look at a performance, and then after the performance, we'll talk about what we think. Okay, so I've got Ryland behind the camera, and I'm going to show you something using this little wallet, right? Inside the wallet, there's some very interesting stuff. First of all, we have 3 poker chips.
Poker chips.
I know you love poker chips. We have a green one, we have a blue one, and we have a red one. We also have some envelopes. We'll get back to that in a minute. So we have three poker chips. The green one is worth 50, the blue one is worth 100, and the red one is worth 10.
I want a blue.
Now, if you were here, you could mix these up as much as you want to. You're not here, so I'll mix them up, and you just say stop anytime you want.
Stop.
There. Now, do you want to change the position of any 3 of those chips? You can do if you want to.
Blue and green.
Blue and green. Do you want to change the position of any others?
No.
Okay. Now, the other thing that we have here is we also have 4 envelopes. Now, these are containing the coins from my coin collection. We have 4 envelopes. Each one of them has a different coin in it.
Okay.
And again, I'm not going to tell you which coin is in each one just yet, but you get to decide which envelope goes in front of which chip, and that'll leave us one envelope which is going to be kind of the spare that's not going to be used. So this first envelope, is that a spare, or do you want to put it in front of one of the chips?
Put it in front of the 50.
The 50. This one, is it a spare, or do you want it to go in front of one of the chips?
It's a 10.
It's a 10. This one, is it a spare?
Spare.
Spare. And this one goes in front of the 100.
Yep.
Now, I'll put the spare there. You can mix up either the envelopes or the chips if you want to.
I'm happy.
You're happy?
Yeah.
Are you sure? Because it's really important that you realise you made all of the decisions here. And it was you and you alone. It was you and you alone. Are you sure you don't want to move this one and change it with any of these?
Nope.
Okay. So you put this here, this envelope, you put in front of this chip. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Again, in a second I'm going to open it up. Before I do, would you like to switch it with the spare?
No.
You sure you want this one?
Yeah.
Positive? Okay. Look, I'm going to show you that inside this one, that is a old copper English penny. You've seen one of those before, haven't you, Ryland?
Yeah.
Right, now we're going to go for this one, which you said was your favourite, the green, right? Before I show you what's inside this envelope, would you like to switch it with this envelope here, or even that envelope there?
No.
Are you sure? You can if you want to.
Yep.
You're happy?
Yep.
Okay, so inside this one, we have an old Chinese coin. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Perfect. Now, we've got one last one, which I'm going to open in a second. But first of all, we're going to look at the spare. This is the spare. Before we look at the spare, would you like to switch it with that envelope?
No.
Because I don't want you saying later on, I made you do it. Are you happy?
Yeah.
Okay. Inside this one, we have one of my favourite coins, actually. Inside this one, we have, I don't know if you've seen this before, this is like an old prospector coin from America back in the day. It's kind of interesting because on one side, you've got somebody hunting, and the other side, you've got a bear hunting the hunter. And it's kind of an interesting coin. But you didn't want that. You didn't want that. You wanted this one, right? And in here is probably the most iconic coin for magicians. We have a $50.
Yay.
Now think about this. You made all the decisions, right? You decided not to have this coin. You decided to have these, and you decided to put them in front of these chips.
Yeah.
You made all the decisions all of the way. You mixed up the chips. You mixed up the envelopes. You could have switched at any point.
Yeah.
That was a free choice.
Yeah.
I never showed you the other side of the poker chips. And if I had, you would have seen that on the other side of this blue one, there's actually a picture of an old English penny. On the other side of this green one, there's a picture of the exact same Chinese coin. And on the back of this one, there's a picture of the American $50.
That is very
Proof that we knew exactly what was going to happen. And I've only got one word for you, Ryland.
What?
What? Okay, so that's the performance. It is absolutely impossible when you think about it. There's so many different options that people are being given. It all fits inside that little golden packet trick wallet.
Yeah.
So everything fits
okay,
inside there. When you're finished and you want to walk away to go to the next table, it's probably a 30-second reset. You have to do something with the envelopes. Now, I've chosen, you get a bunch of envelopes with it, and Michael talks about sealing the envelopes down, which means you need new envelopes every time, and you can get more envelopes that size. Because I do, Michael does a lot of one-off performances, I do a lot of walk-around magic. I've kind of made the decision to not seal them. I don't think it really kind of adds too much by having them sealed, and it means I can reset the trick on the fly. So I've kind of made the decision to not actually have the envelope sealed, which means my reset is about 20 to 25 seconds as I walk away. So I can walk over to a table. I need a bit of table space. I don't need a close-up pad or anything like that. I can just throw the things back in the wallet and I'm ready to go again. Everything's self-contained inside the wallet. There's a couple of other little bits that are just there, and that's absolutely fine. What I love about this is the impossibility, because every step of the way, you're giving the spectators the chance to change things. Do you want to change the order of the chips? Do you want to change the order of the envelopes? Do you want to, after everything, it really is ridiculously fair. And then you show the 3 coins inside the 3 envelopes, and then bada boom, bada bing, you show that they match the poker chips. Everything is examinable. Mm-hmm. This is a real commercial working routine. Now, Michael Rubinstein is an expert in sleight of hand.
He's an expert in everything.
Yes, he is. But this is not very difficult to do. This is actually quite easy. Michael talks about 2 or 3 different ways of doing the one move. There's only really one move in the routine. And he talks a couple of different ways of doing that move. But yeah, I mean, look, you just saw a performance of exactly what this trick looks like. If you like what you've just seen, you are not going to be disappointed. This is really, really, really good. I love this. We're fighting over it. We've only got one at the moment. He wants it. I want it. We're probably going to have to order another one. Else there's going to be a fight in the petty house, and I'm bigger than you. But he bites. He bites. That's the problem, you see. So, and also when we get into a fight, Thea normally takes his side, so it's 2 against 1.
Yeah.
So
and then Mummy joins because Thea's in. And then we all beat her up.
Yeah, it's like WWE in our living room.
And then while Mummy and Thea fight, I'm just gonna go down the cave and grab the biggest knife, and we gotta go.
And that's why I never win. So I'm going to give this 97%. I love this. What about you?
I think this is really good.
Percentage?
I'm going to give it 100%.
100% from Ryland. 97% from me. If you want a great coin trick that's also a mentalism trick, this is the best one that I've ever seen. Well done, Dr. Michael Rubinstein. This is great.
There's no Visa in the back.
Yes, it is.
There's no Visa in the back.
Yes, it is.
And there's no Visa in the bag. I was trying to hit you. That was going there.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is another review show in the bag. Thank you once again for joining us right here on Magic TV. Now, don't forget, if you want to see more videos like this, all you got to do is like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below, right? Mm-hmm. Now, if you want to follow Ryland, where are you? What's your handle? Ryland the Kid Magician on Facebook, on YouTube, and Instagram. And I knew that was coming. And I'm Craig Petty, Magic TV. Come here. Craig Petty, Magic TV. Now, we will see you again. Don't forget, if you want to join my online streaming platform for magicians, all you have to do is go to www.thenettricks.com. It's .com. He's having a fit. Just ignore him. He's having a fit. Don't worry about it. He's fine. No Rylands were harmed in the making of this review show. So, if you want to go and learn my magic, then you can do so by...
Dog cookies! Ow! Dog cookies!
Ow! You go to... What the hell was that? Go to .com, .cookies, shove it up your butt. We'll see you again soon. Thanks very much for watching. We'll see you again soon. I'm Craig.
I'm Ryland.
Thanks very much. See you again. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.